Peace and love, family. It's your brother Isaiah. Again with another video for the conscious brothers and sisters. I want to thank all of you guys for your participation, for support, and just believing in the people's remedy. We really appreciate everything that you guys bring to the table. I'm very honored, to be at your service and to provide you with a platform that can give you information that can allow you to navigate in the waters, commerce, and be successful in being able to deal with the deceptive acts and practices. Today, we're going to talk about assignment of rights and how rights are assigned. All I ask is that you pay close attention and make sure that you take notes. So if you do have questions, you can ask those questions at a later date. Peace and love. Okay. So, assignment of claims. Okay. So, assignment of claims. So, before we go into assignment of rights, what is a claim according to the United States Code? All right. Now, we want to know what a claim is in accordance to how the United States views a claim, because we're in the United States, because the United States is the commercial venue in America. So being that we're in the United States in America, we have to know how the United States Code works in order to be navigators within the United States while we're in America. According to the United States Code, a claim refers to a demand for money or property made directly to the federal government. Okay? Essentially, meaning any amount of funds or property that is considered owed to the United States by an individual or entity, okay? Including overpayments, loans, fines, or unpaid shares in government programs, like when you purchase a bank account, when you purchase any kind of account with any financial institution, and you have a right of shares, right? You need to be making that claim against the United States. Ultimately, the United States is the one who determines that those accounts be covered. You see what I'm saying? And if you know you have a right that the United States is restricting you by having this institution restrict you, then you need to make claims directly against the United States for that account and being able to claim any and substantiate any right. You already know about your interests. You already know that you are a party and a participant. Brother Isaiah, I've done my work very well with any student that has followed me. Now it's time to take action. It's time to move out on what it is that we know is true and correct. And anything we do in good faith with clean hands. And we're not acting to deceive or mislead. We are only acting with the rights to consume or utilize what it is that we are entitled to, okay? And in that, there should be no fear. And if anybody close accounts or something, we're taking them to court. We're not playing no games no more. We're not doing that no more. It's time to learn how to do what it is that we are able to do and enforce our rights against our trustees to make them perform their duty and their obligation of performance to us. Okay, let's keep going. So now that we understand that, see, a claim, right, or a debt means an amount of fund or property that has been determined by an appropriate official of the federal government to be owed to the United States by a person. So whenever like T-Mobile feels that you owe a debt, they basically give you a notice letting you know, hey, look, you owe a debt to the United States. So they telling you you owe the rights to charge the United States to handle this, you know what I'm saying? And we giving you notice of a due amount. that the United States ain't paid. But they're not telling it to you in that way. We should know because we're supposed to know the code. How you doing, young man? What's good? You need something? All right, so we supposed to know. But being that we have not been taught right, we don't understand what's going on when they're making a request for payment, right? But I'm showing it to you, right? We're going to tap in. Let's tap in. Okay, we're going all the way in. You know how I do it. I like to go in, like Flynn, baby. We all the way in now. We down deep in the center. Let's get to it. So we're going to get to the definitions and the applications, okay? Now, y'all know, let me make sure y'all can see because I don't want to move forward and you ain't seeing what my screen is showing. Now, let me make sure. I don't want nobody to have no excuses that Brother Isaiah ain't pulled through like a lumber truck. Hear me? Now, administrative offset means withholding of funds that is payable by the United States. So somebody's withholding funds from you and they telling you that these funds have to be paid by the United States in order to settle your obligation. So because they can only accept US currency and because we haven't been taught right, we don't understand what's actually happening. So that's why the Most High put certain people within this atmosphere and they were to grow ripe enough in order to liberate us from what we're suffering from on many different levels and occasions. You know, so we all have a task and a duty of performance, and this is part of that performance and you learning how to comprehend this information. Okay, so an administrative offset is something being withheld by a United States agency, right? Including funds that are payable by the United States on behalf of the state government, right? So they have an obligation to pay or credit your account, but it has to be done directly by the United States. See what I'm saying? So when they demand in payment, they're trying to get you to transfer that to the United States to demand that it be paid. You see what I'm saying? And then show proof of payment, all right? And are held by the United States for a person to satisfy a claim. So I'm going to read it all the way through. An administrative offset means a withholding of funds payable by the United States, including funds payable by the United States on behalf of a state government. 2, are held by the United States for a person to satisfy a claim. So whenever you apply for an account, they're making a request to the United States to see if you can get approved for a loan. The United States receives your information and they approve and say you're credit worthy. Once the United States approves you, the institution lets you know that there was an approval. Usually it's through one of their agencies, like a bank or a financial institution working on the United States behalf. All right, these are sub-agencies of the United States that are obligated under the United States Insurance Code, because under the Insurance Code, they have an obligation to do specific tasks and duties for the insurance being provided for the banks and the credit unions. And this creates an obligation of performance to the United States for providing financial insurance for financial institutions so that they can have clients that can be protected and covered in any insured act. Okay, now let's keep going. So the United States is holding funds that are payable for you, and the institution that is obligated to you to make payment for you is demanding that you make a request for payment to the United States to give them the rights to receive payment. Okay, so this is what's going on. Now, a calendar year means 3 months, a 3-month period, beginning on January the 1st to April the 1st, and then July the 1st or October the 1st, okay? A consumer reporting agency means a consumer reporting agency as determined in terms is defined in section 603F of the Fair Credit Reporting Act. and 15 U.S.C. 1681 A.F. or a consumer reporting agency as defined in section 603F. I think I just read that. Or B, my bad. A person that for money or for corporate basis, cooperative basis, regularly, number one, gets information on consumers to give information to a consumer reporting agency, or serves as, right, a marketing agent under an arrangement allowing a third party to get the information from a consumer reporting agency. And then executive, judicial, or legislative agency means department, agencies, courts, court administrative office, or instrumentalities in the executive, judicial, or legislative branch of government, including government corporations, military department means. And they're giving you all these different things, right? Which I suggest that you read to get a better understanding of how this thing is structured, right? Now let's keep going. Go down some. Or maybe I need to go up some just a little bit just to make sure I ain't. All right, in this chapter, this session, the term claim or debt means an amount of fund or property that has been determined by an appropriate official of the federal government to be owed to the United States by a person, organization, or entity other than another federal agency. A claim includes, without limitation, A, funds owed on account of a loan made, insured, or guaranteed by the government, including any deficiency or any difference between the price obtained by the government in the sale of a property and the amount owed to the government on a mortgage on the property, right? Expenses of a non-appropriated fund, including actual or administrative costs relating to shoplifting, theft, detection, and theft prevention, overpayment. So anything that you go through, they are responsible for it, including payments disallowed by audit performed by Inspector General of the agency administrating the program, right? Because this is their program, and an amount of the United States is authorized by statute to collect for the benefit of any person, okay, of any person, the unpaid shares of any non-federal partner in program involving federal payments and a matching or cost-sharing payment by non-federal partners. Come on, man. Other amounts of money or property owed to the government. So they are the ones responsible for everything. If you have any obligation, you need to be making the claim directly against the government for that obligation. It's their obligation to make sure that we are secure and that we are provided with coverage, because they said that they would give us coverage and we're entitled to that coverage. So that's what it's about. It's about you getting what you're entitled to. For the purposes of section 3716 of this title, each claim, and that includes the amount of funds or property owed by a person to a state, including any past due supporting being enforced by the state, the District of Columbia, America, Samoa, Guam, the United States Virgin Islands, and Commonwealth of Northern Marina Islands, or the Commonwealth of Puerto Rico. It says in section 3716 and 3717 of this title, the term person does not include, any agency, an agency of the United States government, right? Section 3711 and 3716, 3719 of the title do not apply to claims or debts under or to an amount payable under the Social Security Act. It says to the extent provided. All right, so then we go into credit agency, means any agency owed a claim, that is to collect that claim through administrative offset, and Payment certifying agency means an agency that has transmitted a voucher to a dispersing official for a disbursement, right? 37 of this title, private collection contractor, means a private debt collector under a contract with an agency to collect a non-tax debt or claim owed the United States. The term includes private debt collectors, collection agency. So all these people that are collecting debts are collecting what is owed to the United States. You know what I'm saying? It's not owed to you, it's owed to the United States. And because you are holding the debt or you're holding the obligation and you refuse to transfer it or draw it upon the United States to pay the debt, then it remains an outstanding balance that's due that remains uncollected because we won't transfer the obligations to the United States to collect or pay its obligation, right? Now that we are familiar with what this is all about, right? Let's read a little bit of this. I want to show you how this thing is really set up. It says government is added for the consistency in the reserved title and with other titles of the United States Code, right? In subsection A3B, before a clause, the word money is substituted for monetary fees, dues, to eliminate unnecessary words. The word engages in whole or in part in practice of or omitted as surplus. In clause, it says the word credit or other and as defined in clause of this paragraph are omitted as surplus. In subsection B, the word all from fee, dues, leases, rents, royalty, services, sales of rents of property, personal property, overpayments, fines, fees, damages, interest, taxes, forfeitures, and other sources are omitted as surplus. And the word unit of general are added for consistency in reserved title. The word arises is omitted as surplus, right? Internal Revenue Service, blah, blah, blah. So all of this, right? So I'm gonna go past a lot. It's a lot on here, y'all. It's a lot. All right, so it just now it's going into like the different departments, you know what I'm saying? But I just pretty much wanted to just show you that, right? So let me go back out of this, right? So now that we understand, right? Let me go back up here at the top again. Remember this, always remember this, is that according to the United States Code, a claim refers to a demand for money or other property made directly to a federal government, right? Especially meaning any amount of funds or property, right, that is considered owed to the United States by an individual or entity, right? You got to make that demand to the federal government, right? It got to be made directly to the federal government, including any amount that is considered owed by an individual or entity. If your legal person owes something, all these demands should be made to the United States, including overpayments, loans, fines, or unpaid shares in government programs. If you ain't getting no shares in your bank account or none of that, you directly, man. I'm just trying to show it to you, you know, because a lot of people talk it, but it's one thing to say a thing and it's another thing to actually show proof, right? Okay. Now we have an understanding, okay? Let me get back to where I was at. So I think this is good. Let me make sure this is good. I don't know how I got all the way down. I don't know. All right. Now, who may be a debtor? That's what I was reading. All right. So this right here is saying who may be a debtor, right? All right. So There's something else, but I don't think this is what I was actually looking for. I don't know actually what happened to it. Was it pertaining to this? And I just went, that's weird. None of that. I think I'm gonna have to pull it up. An assignment of rights in accordance to the United States Code. All right. So it's called an assignment of a claim, right? Now that we understand that the United States is responsible for all contracts, claims, agreements. So right now, if you're going through something, then you know who you need to be asserting against, right? So there's no confusion. You ain't got to assert against T-Mobile. You need to go directly to the main person because T-Mobile is entitled to receive payment too. Now it says, in this section, assignment means a transfer or an assignment of any part of a claim against the United States government or of an interest in a claim or the authorization to receive payment for any part of a claim. So your claim is supposed to actually go against the United States government. Now, you can make that claim against the government and assign it directly to the company that is actually trying to collect from you or anything like that, showing that a claim has been made to the government to handle that. And then they have to transfer that claim. You see what I'm saying? Now, I just want to show it to you because a lot of stuff that we think is really hard is not really hard at all. The United States is responsible to make sure that all these accounts are paid and that if you have any shares that was issued to you by a share company, that you have actually received any benefits of those shares. The United States has to do that. And now you know the truth. And because you know the truth, you shall be free. Now it says, and an assignment may be made only after the claim is allowed. So usually when you apply for a claim or a debt, which is an amount that will become due to the United States, then it has to get approved by the United States for you to make the claim against the United States. You see what I'm saying? To fulfill that obligation. Okay. So once you apply and it's approved, now the claim is allowed. The amount of the claim is decided in a warrant for payment. So you have put in an application for what you decided you wanted, and then a warrant for payment of the claim has been issued. Now you got a installment loan agreement. Now you holding the lease. Now you holding the license, or you holding some type of document that was applied for, right? And the assignment shall specify the warrant, right? When you assign the property, you should specify the warrant, what's being the amounts that's due, how much, what's being received, right? It must be made freely, right? Meaning no force with nobody making you do it, and it must be attested by two witnesses, all right? Because it's almost like you're trying to create a contract. You was made a proposal by the United States of an amount. So what you're doing is you're going before a notary with two attesting witnesses to accept your rights to enter into a contract with the United States and for the United States to provide the amounts as stated under the security that you hold against the United States. And that's what this is all about. You know what I'm saying? Us taking action and being able to hold the United States reliable to take care of its obligation. So we taking two attesting witnesses. The person making the assignment shall acknowledge it before an official who may acknowledge a deed. So we're going to go before a notary, right? Or we're going to go before some sort of official who can acknowledge deeds or official acts, right? An official shall certify, right, the assignment. The certification shall state that the official completely explained the assignment when it was acknowledged, and that the assignment under this subsection is valid for any purpose. So you will want to take this, like when you do your acknowledgement. Let's pull that up real quick just to show you. Acknowledgement of an instrument. Okay, so say Let me look at this acknowledgement. See how it look. Okay. All right, so these are like the general forms of acknowledgments, right? For all 50 states, stuff like that. So for an individual, it's just a simple, for an individual acting in his own right, right? The state where you from, the county where you from, right? And then for the foregoing instrument was acknowledged before me this day and by, and then the notary will sign, and then the person taking the acknowledgement. She'll write your name by, it was acknowledged by you, and then she will acknowledge such and such, such and such, and then fill all this out, right? All the way to right here. And then all this with this, you'll take this acknowledgement form, you'll attach it to the instrument, saying that it was acknowledged before the notary. See, but what I do is, you modify this. You can add to it, you know what I'm saying? And if you look, some of their acknowledgments are a little bit different than others, just to give you an idea. See, right here, like on this day, right here it says the state of, county of, on this day before me personally appeared, John Henry Doe, known to me to be the person described. And see, you can add in here, you can say described in the attached document. You can say described in and put in parentheses, signature card. You know what I'm saying? Anything. You can modify the Western name, and then like right here where it says the assignment, the certificate shall state that the official completely explained the assignment when it was acknowledged, right? And the assignment under this subsection is valid for any person, right? So you would add right here, where it go? The foregoing instrument, and acknowledge that he or she executed the same as their free act indeed, right? And then you would add right here, uh, I acknowledge that this, uh, that this, it says that I acknowledge that I have officially explained this acknowledgement, and that this instrument is good for all stated purposes. That's what you would put in there, right? You would throw that in there because you was, hold up, that's not it. You would put that in there because it says the certificate shall state. So you got to make sure that it states that the official completely explained the assignment when it was acknowledged. So you got to make sure to say so you're gonna throw it in there that, like, for the notary, you're gonna add that in there saying that it was that, like, you're gonna basically say that I have officially explained this acknowledgement, and that this acknowledgement is good for all stated purposes as stated in the instrument. You see what I'm saying? That's what you put in there. You'll put that in there. You'll say, I have completely explained this acknowledgement, and that I have officially explained this acknowledgement and its purpose, and that it is good for that I have it, basically that so because it says that it got to say that the official explained the acknowledgement. So you got to basically say that I have officially explained this acknowledgement, and that it is good for all stated purposes as stated in the instrument, or it's valid for any purpose. because this right here is a very important part of it. And I think I got a couple of documents of my own where I actually put it in mine. But I don't actually, yeah, I ain't gonna actually show you mine. You know what I'm saying? It says subsection of this subsection does not apply to an assignment to a financing institution of money due or to become due under a contract providing for any payments totaling at least $1,000 when the contract does not forbid the assignment. So if the contract don't forbid the assignment, you can do an assignment of your rights to the bank unless the contract expressly provides otherwise. The assignment is for the entire right amount not already paid, is to be made only to one party except that that party may be made to a party as agent or trustee for more than one party participating in the same finance, right? So if it's two or more people that are involved in a transaction that's entitled to get paid, you can assign that one person at that bank as your agent to pay out all the parties under the terms of that agreement once you have assigned it, right? All right. It says it may not be reassigned, and the assignee files a written notice of assignment and a copy of the assignment with the contracting officer. The contracting officer is the other party that you're in the contract with, or the head of the agency. The head of that agency or the surety on the bond, on the contract, right? And any dispersing official for the contract. So, right. So any of their sureties that they have that on that bond, or any dispersing official that they have connected to that contract, right? So it's basically just telling you how they got to do it. So this is basically the way that an assignment is supposed to be done. When you make sure that when you matter of fact, let's just do one real quick. Let's just make one. I'm just gonna. I feel like says this blank. Yeah. So we're just gonna make one. Show you how easy this is. So I label it assignment of rights. All right. And then I center my stuff. I make it a little bit bigger. I might even make it bold. So bold. Okay. Then up here I'll put like let me show you what I'm talking about. So I insert. I use this a lot. So this would be my oh shit. So that'll be where my certified mail number will go. Hmm. All right. So I have my certified mail number there. And then I come here and I'll do me another box real quick. And I'll put me a box here. And then I'll put All right, so that's where the company name and info go. I'm gonna let that box stay there so you kind of get an idea. So I put the company's name and info there. All right, I would create another box. And right now, all I'm doing is officially dressing the document up. Okay, so you gotta notice the principal, notice the agent. I mean, some people like to make it bold. You don't have to. It's not a requirement to. But me, myself, certain stuff I want to stand out. I want it to really stand out in the document. So I may, you know, you know, make mine's bold. Okay, so I got my notice to agent and notice to principal, right? Um, Somewhere between here, might have to move some stuff around just a little bit. So I'll put my account number. It's about all kind of words. Oh, that's supposed to be. To three C's in there. Missing. So it'll be something similar to this, right? All right, so be read and I'll put like my date somewhere like right here. Okay, so now we got the date. All right, so now you can put your address. Your address will go toward the bottom, You can put, I'll show you how you put your address. I mean, you learn how to do so much stuff. So I say this is, I'm gonna say, greetings. Greetings. Right? So, all right, you can say greetings, officers, agents, managers, whoever, you know what I'm saying, or all officials, but greetings to all these represent shall come. I already got it. Notice the agent is notice the principal. Notice the principal is notice the agent. All right. So I ain't got to specify no name or none of that, right? All these greetings shall come. Then I say, let the S off. All right. So right here, I would write, um, all right. See what I'm saying? So I'm certifying that what I'm saying is true and correct, right? And if I want to, I can add under the penalty of perjury. right, under the laws of the United States of America, that the foregoing is true and correct, right? Or I can just I can just certify that the information is correct, right? In order to make a sworn statement, depending on how you choose to do this assignment. So we're gonna say I certify under the laws of the oh my bad. Under the laws, I certify under so I certify under the penalty of perjury under the laws of the United States, under the penalty of perjury, under the laws of the United States of America, that the following information is true, correct, and not misleading. Okay. So you want to say something to that degree, right? You changed it. of the unpaid, of the total unpaid balance uh, due and payable. This assignment shall vest all rights, titles, and interests in the lease to the United States Treasury as the holder once this assignment has been placed into any medium for transportation. I'm gonna say considered as issued. It would be considered as issued as against the principal, Isaiah J. Kane Bay, and final upon acceptance by the holder. Upon delivery. Okay, so now that I got the assignment part taken care of, right? Now I will go down here and right here, all right, so I will put certify, certify, and I will put like PowerPoints, right? Right. Show you what I mean, baby boy. Certifies. Certifies. I want to certify. All right, so, and then once you do this, all right, so, oh, shoot, I didn't mean to do that. My bad. Wait up. Where did it go? No, that's not it. That's not it. That's not it. Oh no, yeah, I'm trying to find the document. I can, wow. Y'all ain't gonna believe it. All right. Okay. Okay. All right. So now that I got all of that done, right? The last part of this is where you sign, right? So then I would do right here, I would do um you put that. All right. So being that I'm at the end of the page, right? So I would put executed by, right? And then I would put, I have to add me a box. So I'd insert me a box, like somewhere right here, somewhere like right there. All right. Then I'll put my X, then I'll draw my line. All right, and then I move my box to where I want it to go. So if I want it to go about right there, I put it right there. Excuse me. So I signed the first page, right? So it's gonna look something like this when I'm done with it. All right, so it's gonna look something like that. So that's gonna be the total assignment. All right, so this is the total assignment. And I said I'm gonna show you like my address information is gonna be written in the like in the footprint of the document for them to contact me. You know what I'm saying? And I'm show you how you do that. So being that I got all of this, what I need to do now is go to the next page. All right. So this is 2 pages. All right, 2 different pages. All right. So now you need what's called an attestation of witness. witnesses. So let me see. I think I got one already made. Let me see if I can find it. I know I got some. Let me look somewhere else real quick because I know I got it. It might be labeled something else. Let me see. Affidavit of witnesses. I think this is it. So yeah, this is it. All right, so this is something different that I had it for, for something else I was doing. But this is what you will attach to that. So I will actually take this and I will actually, this will be the actual form that I will actually use. So your attestation of witnesses, right? Affidavit of attesting witnesses. We, the undersigned witnesses, do hereby, let me make sure y'all can see it. I keep reading. Yeah, y'all can see it. So it says, we, the undersigned witnesses, do hereby declare and affirm that we personally know the affiant to be whoever you are, and that we have witnessed the affiant sign, seal, and deliver. See, this one is the physical service form, 231, in our presence this day of October the 10th, 2003, and we as witnesses have placed our endorsement to this affidavit of witnesses to declare that the same is true and correct. And then they would sign and print. It would be even better if they put their address on there, you know what I'm saying, to actually verify who they truly are, that they are actual witnesses. So the more information concerning the witness, the more valid it is for a claim. So these witnesses are acting as certifiers of your claim of your rights to your rights, that you are the person who has the rights to assign that instrument over to that bank. So this will go, your attesting witnesses will be attached to that. And then there will actually be assigned with the instrument that you're actually assigning for all the unpaid amounts that are due and payable under that agreement. I hope that y'all really enjoyed this video and that it's informative to you. If you want to get these templates and stuff like that, y'all can reach out to me. They will be for purchase. You have to actually pay me for these templates or make them yourself. Do yourself a favor. I showed you, if you purchase the video, you should be able to just draw this up and create it. But if you need mine, you have to pay me for it. That's why I say you got to start doing. I don't even like showing my stuff, but I'm trying to make sure that y'all get it because a lot of y'all still ain't getting it. I thought by now most of y'all would have been able to, put this together. So here you go. I'm starting to show y'all a little bit more as time goes on. Peace and the blessings to all who support and stay in for the long haul. This is for y'all. Love y'all, man. Peace. I'm out.